As someone who struggles with severe anxiety, I tend to cope a lot. And I try to find alternatives and things that would make me feel good, that would make me happy and relaxed. And although that has been affecting my anxiety positively, at the same time, there's a whole another layer to it that maybe kind of tells me that maybe coping isn't really the right way to deal with this. So let me explain what I'm really trying to say here. So I clearly have an issue with a lot of things, which let's say, okay, I'm just gonna give you this as an example. I'm the kind of guy that is obsessed with like cafes, and I just like being in a cafe. So when I come home, I try to do precisely that. To feel relaxed and to cope with my own anxiety, I have usually lamps turned on instead of the bright ceiling lights. I have hot drinks. I'm like obsessed with hot drinks at this point. So I basically I set the mood for myself so I can feel better. And although that has been working, at the same time, if you really think about it, maybe if we get too comfortable with some stuff, then when we really need to experience the opposite, or let's say you go from that sort of environment into work, into an office with brightly lit lights, and you cannot drink tea and coffee all the time, then you really start to feel overwhelmed and stressed again. And so the coping kind of works, it basically backfires, if you know what I mean. So maybe the play isn't to try to make yourself feel more comfortable with stuff. Well, like, instead of adjusting to what you tend to like and do, maybe you should adjust to things that you don't like and things that provoke stress. So basically, if you position yourself into something that, if you normalize something that you don't usually do, eventually you'll feel more comfortable with it. So that's sort of what I've been doing lately. One thing that I've tried doing was this challenge with a friend where I removed the top 3 things that I'm addicted to, and I tried to see what I can work with it and whether it would make my life more productive, whether I'd be happier in the long run. And it was insanely hard to do, but I think it worked out in the end. So basically what I've done was I removed hot drinks off my bucket list. Like I wouldn't have any hot drinks. So as someone that likes having tea, coffee, chocolate milk and all those things 24/7, it was a nightmare. And yeah, so then napping was also something that I had to remove from my habits. So imagine me like getting home after a long day and I cannot take a nap. It's actually something that would go against the rules of my challenge. Or if I want to have a warm drink and have some tea or something, I cannot. So if I really want to stay awake or something, I would probably have to use other alternatives such as water. I should wash my face with cold water, have a shower, drink water. But water has basically become my #1 friend. And then another thing that I kind of had to cross off was entertainment and media. Without YouTube or Instagram, Reels, whatever, TikTok, imagine you basically have to rely on other methods of entertainment. Just kind of like without having hot drinks, which is the only thing that I would usually drink, I only have to rely on water. And now not having any entertainment means that I basically need to read a book or study, do other things that would entertain me more than staring at the wall, you know? So I would actually suggest doing this to really anyone that's been struggling with anxiety. Try to set yourself for a challenge. Try to remove those things that actually make you feel happy and relaxed. Try to substitute them and change those habits for other habits, so that way when you're living your daily life and you need to overcome through I can't speak, when you need to overcome these difficulties, they don't become as difficult as they normally would. Maybe that will eliminate your stress at some point, because if you're used to studying for long hours and you become used to reading and stuff, maybe you'll actually get good at reading and studying won't be that big of a problem. But for that, you need to remove everything that makes you comfortable. Whatever you use as a coping mechanism, if I were you, I'd try to leave it out for a day. Just if you play video games and that's your way of coping with life, set yourself for a goal. Try to maybe not play games for a week. It will be hard at first, but the second week it will get easier. In a month, you probably won't even care about video games, because at the end of the day, you're just doing that because you feel stressed when you don't. And if you get used to not doing it, you don't feel stressed. So yeah, the whole point that I'm trying to make in this video is that don't get too comfortable with things, because life changes. Some things can't stay the same, and if you get too attached to them, I'm sorry, but you'll have a rough time when you really need to leave those things behind. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got any ideas or suggestions for a future video, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'll make sure to read as many as possible. I really appreciate the support from my previous video, by the way. It was really nice to read your comments and your opinions. And yeah, I hope I'll see you all later.